What's up, Facebook? I'm gonna wait till some people come on here. Let's talk about this. I got one viewer. Let's see who else we get to come on in the room before I start. Let's talk about this. Let's have this conversation. Let's help some people get unstuck today. Something flashing and blinking on my phone. I ain't did an FB Live in so long. I got one viewer. Hello, viewer. Is that my light blinking? Or is that on my phone? I don't know. I think it's that light up there. Change. See if that helps. Anything that changes. I'm gonna wait a couple of more minutes, maybe. See if I get one or two more viewers. Then I'll go ahead and get started. Hi, Latricia, Clintoria. Hello, hello, ladies. 2, 3. Let's talk about this. Why do people fear competition? Why do people fear competition? Competition keeping a lot of people from moving forward in some visions that God has placed in their heart. Competition is moving a lot of people from moving forward in the very thing that you were purposed to do, that was so divine for you to do. So, and if y'all have any thoughts, of course, or anything to help someone or want to share your experience, let's help somebody today. Let's help somebody get unstuck. Let's help somebody get the mindset where I don't think I should do this because this person over here doing that and that person over here doing this too. So I got too much competition. That's what some people think. So we're going to talk about that. Why are people afraid of competition? You won't even move on the very thing that you were divinely purposed to do because of competition. Do you know how many people is in this world? Like, do you really know how many people are in this world? And competition is keeping you from moving forward. So the reason why people are afraid of competition and they don't move forward is because they don't know their identity. You do not know your identity and a sole purpose of why you were created. Because if you knew your identity and you knew your worth, then nothing could stop you from moving forward to do what you were called and purposed to do. So what brought this up before I've talked to some people and they'll share an idea with me. Fear of failure as well. Yes, fear of failure, not being good enough. That's one of the things that I was gonna point out. That's good. But what I saw with that, Clintoria, is that all of that falls under people not knowing their identity. They are afraid that they're going to fail and they're not good enough, because if you knew your true identity and who God created you to be, then that fear of maybe I shouldn't compete because I'm going to fail, would not hold people from being in a place of not moving forward, because you would then be confident and you would know your worth because you know your identity. And some people would share an idea and they're like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. It could be anything, selling hair, writing a book, whatever it is. And they'll say, well, I don't want to do that because you got so many people doing this and you got so many people doing the same thing. And then I was talking to my cousin, and so she was sharing her ideas, her projects, what she's working on, and then I was sharing mine with her. And like, we're both happy for one another. No envious, no jealousy, not even feeling competition. And the projects that we're working on are similar. You know why? Because she know her identity and I know my identity too. Then I met this lady Saturday. Beautiful. Met her. First thing she tells me, she's a coach. Oh, I'm a coach too. Now, a year ago, and the thing is, it came up about, competition. And she said, my God is too big for us to even be worrying or thinking about competing against somebody. And I was like, yes, for people to be afraid in competing because somebody is doing the same thing they're doing. If somebody else is writing a book, it's only because you don't know your identity and you don't know how big God is. The fact that you feel like, oh, this person is being successful, so therefore I can't be successful. No, I need you to stretch your mind. I need you to really know how big God is. What you need to know, what he made happen for somebody else can make happen for you too. So one thing, that fear of competition, you got to rise your faith up. Your faith has to rise up. Your faith has to rise up, and you have to step out boldly. First and foremost, you need to seek God and see who God says you are, and stop allowing somebody else's opinion to be your reality. You don't think that you're worth it because of the fact that somebody has told you. Fear is a yoke that the enemy uses to paralyze us. Yes, Clintoria. It is a yoke to paralyze us, to just keep us in bondage from not even moving. So many people have miscarried so many babies spiritually as far as what was supposed to be birthed. So many ideas and so many dreams have died. So many have died. So this thing about competition kept coming back up. And I know God has been speaking to me about this being a season of resurrection. So if you're watching this and you have allowed fear to kill those dreams, miscarry some babies, that you need to know, just like how Jesus rose on the third day and resurrected, God can resurrect those dreams, those visions, those very things that you are desiring to do. However, you have to make the decision and say, I'm not going to continue to allow thinking because somebody else is writing a book that, why should I write a book? I had somebody tell me a couple of months ago, when I said something about writing a book, and he was like, oh yeah, that's good, but you probably should do videos. You could do something like that because a lot of people aren't reading books. So I just laughed at him. Everything don't need a response, because I'm thinking, nah, I know my identity. I know the vision God gave me. So therefore, that's what I'm going to do. And someone will read it. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as you have, and you're confident in the vision that God has placed inside of you, there is no reason for you to fear competing against somebody else. That person can be successful in what they're doing, and you can too. You need to know your worth. You need to pull up every bad seed, again, whatever it is that was said that's making you feel like you're not good enough to go forward in the very thing that you were purposed to do. I mean, we're talking about the divine very thing that you've had dreams about. People have come to you and confirmed time after time after time, things that God has spoken to you about in your private times. And you've had so much confirmation that this is what you're supposed to do, but you have not moved forward simply because You're looking at the fact that somebody else is doing the same thing. I went to an event last year and I met this lady there, and she was telling me how she was a coach. And so I was like, oh, I'm a coach too. She was like, yeah, it's so many people out there doing it. And I just looked at her and I stopped. I was like, dang, she don't know who she is. She don't know who Big God is. Because Evora Bentley, it could be a million coaches around on this earth. I know my identity and who God created me to be. So if I meet somebody else that's another coach, just like the coach I met Saturday, I said, you know what? You might can help me with something. She said, we might can help one another. We ain't got no reason at all to fear the fact that both of us are coaches. I don't have no reason to fear the fact that somebody else want to write a book. I don't have no reason to fear that somebody else wants to do a video to inspire people. We need that. We need so many people doing that. You know why? Because it's so many people that are depressed. It's so many people that are suicidal. It's so many people who are ready to check out on life because they need some inspiration. They need to know that they have a purpose for being here. So I say we need all of that. Just because somebody else is doing the same thing Evora Bentley is doing, I am not going to be afraid of that. I have no reason to be afraid of that because Jeremiah 29:11 tells me that the plans that God has for me are to prosper. So therefore, because of the fact that his plans that he has for me are to prosper, and I'm following out the vision and the divine purpose that he has placed inside of me, why would I fear somebody else doing the same thing? No need. No need. None whatsoever. So again, people are staying in a place where they are being stagnant. They are staying in a place where they will not move forward because they see somebody else doing the same thing. There are so many people I've had before I stepped out to actually start coaching people. I had so many people to coach me first. And that was good because I had to learn. If you want to be an author, don't run away from somebody who has written a book. Don't run away from somebody who has built a business. Don't run away from somebody who has their own apparel line. It's the same thing that, you want to do. Try to get with that person. Try to get with them. And it has been times when the same thing that I've seen people do, I've tried to reach out to them. People said that they would, yeah, sure, I'll talk to you, sure, whatever information and they didn't come through. I wasn't mad at them. I just kind of looked back and like, wow, they don't want to help nobody do what they doing. It just made me think like, okay. Somebody hit me up in a minute. Evora, I'm thinking about writing a book. You know what I do? I inspire them. I encourage them. Write the book. What information do you need? What is it that I can help you with? When you truly know who you are and you truly know your identity and why you are here and placed on this earth, you're not going to worry about competing against someone else. You're not going to worry about the fact that you're not good enough to do the very thing that you feel like you are divinely supposed to do. Competition is a stealer of joy, Natalie. Right. Exactly, Natalie. That is exactly what I was saying. That is exactly what I was saying. I was saying how I had so many people coach me before. I had so many that I would go to and get advice and information from. I had people who wrote books before. I had some projects I'm working on now. And I had people who had already did the very thing. And I went to them asking their help, asking their experience. Where did you start from? And it was people who gave me the advice who were like, sure, this is where I started from, A, B, and C. But those people, they had no worries because they're confident. They know who God has called them to be. So therefore, they're like, sure, what do you need? How can I help you? And that's how I am. So tonight, I hope that somebody, whoever has tuned in, whether you jumped on or you're still looking at this video, or even if you go back and look at the video, that if it's something that you feel like people, God has been confirming, you have been having dreams, you confirmation over confirmation that this is what you are supposed to do. I hope that this video causes you to step out of that very thing that got you stuck in that bondage of moving forward, because you have no reason to worry about competing against anyone else. None whatsoever. You have to seek God to see what your identity, who you are. Once you find out who you are, your confidence rises, your faith rises, that boldness for you to go out and do everything what you were created to be steps out. You're not going to worry about what somebody else has to say. You're not going to worry about what people have said as far as their opinions becoming your reality, because that's a lot of stuff right there. Reason why a lot of people aren't moving forward. Somebody opinion has become your reality. So you have believed that very thing. That's good. That's good, Natalie. That's good. So this was I just want to talk about that for a minute. And if anybody else have any comments for somebody to go back and read, just so somebody is encouraged. You could be said, that idea could be $1 million dream, trillion, bill. You never know where it's going to take you to. And so many people are afraid of failing. Do you know that some of the greatest people fail so many times? They fell so many times first. But the thing is, they went out and they went forward. They did something. Like, you have to do something. You can't just sit and be afraid. Sit and be afraid of worrying about what somebody else is, and you're fearful to move on your divine purpose. Your divine purpose. Like the word tells us that God made us in his image. Like, if you just really grasp that around your mind, the fact that you were made in God's image and that the plans that he has are for you to prosper, that right there just gets me excited and just rises such a confidence level up in me where I'm like, you can't tell Evora Bentley she can't, because God says I can. You can't tell me that it's not going to work, because the vision that God has given me said it is. I don't care if she doing the same thing. I don't care if he doing the same thing. Hey, let's all get together, help one another. I might be able to give you something that you didn't know. You might be able to give me something that I don't know. It's too much envious and jealousy going around out here. Too much to where we competing with one another instead of trying to help one another. No, like we don't have to do that. And the only reason why is because you don't know your identity. You don't know your identity. And your identity was actually conformed and already set before you was in your mother's womb. But see, it's the enemy that comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Your identity has been stolen. You got to get your identity back. How do you get your identity back? Thank you, Aunt Poo Poo. I love you too. How do you get your identity back? You get your identity back by seeking the one who created you. The manufacturer knows all of the instructions and everything to the product that they created. People didn't create you. How can people tell you or validate you? So fear of the competition, I don't have to be afraid, none whatsoever, of what somebody else is doing, because I trust who God created me to be. I know my identity and who I was called to be. There was a time before I didn't. There was a time before that I was afraid of what somebody else was going to say. There was a time before that I also was afraid of failing because I was like, God, how is that my vision when they doing the same thing? All these people out here in the world, do you know that the very thing that you haven't moved on, somebody else is waiting on you to move on it? Somebody is waiting on you to move on what you were called to do. Somebody needs it. It's going to be a service to somebody else. It's going to be something to help someone. We all get so stuck and caught up on, I can't do it. I'm not good enough. And it's all because we don't know our identity. Again, the identity was laid out before we was in our mother's womb. But so many of us have gone through things in life. So many different things in life and hurt. You know, I could just name so many incidents, and your identity has been stolen. The enemy stole your identity. The enemy is the one that comes to kill, steal, and destroy. You are still that person. You will never change who God created you to be because God said it, and that's what it is. People can't take that away from you. People can't change that. None whatsoever. So I hope that this video encourages somebody. I hope somebody fights to get their identity back and that you boldly walk in your divine given purpose, the very thing that you were called to do. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. You need to believe it. You need to know it. And you need to move forward in it. It's very well possible. I don't care what your history is. I don't care what your history is. I'm going to tell you, you get rid of your history and you get rid of a victim mentality. I was there one time. I'm just going to be real. That in itself will get you moving forward in so many things. Your confidence and your boldness will rise in you so that you can do the very thing that you were created to do. Again, some people got ideas they sitting on because they're afraid somebody else doing it. You be sitting on $1 million idea. So what you gonna do? You gonna let it just go on by? But you will never know until you do something. And just thinking about that idea and just contemplating on doing it. I should, but I don't know. You're right. You don't know because you're not doing anything about it. And you won't know until you do something about it. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I really hope that this has encouraged someone in some type of way. You know, if you feel like this video can help somebody else, feel free to share or mention somebody's name in the comments. But be encouraged. Move forward. Don't be afraid that somebody is doing the same thing that you're doing. And as always, remember, determination plus confidence equals success. Determination. Be determined and be the person who God has called you to be. Confidence. Have confidence in that very thing that you were called to be. And that's where you will see the success. To me, success is not about having all the money in the world. It's not about having all these nice cars, living in the house. Hey, yeah, that's good. And when I tell you when God bless me with, I ain't going to say no. But to me, success is purpose. Purpose. Purpose is the very thing that is fulfilling. Purpose is the very thing that so many people are missing in life. So many people are depressed. You have so many people who own so many nice houses, have so much money. But in the inside, they feel dead. There's no fulfillment because they've made all this money. They have all these materialistic things, but they're not living a life of purpose. To me, that's success. Success is purpose. It's fulfilling. And you will know. And I will tell anybody, If you get in a place, we all go through trials, we go through tribulation. But if you just feel like you're just wound up and you tangled and you can never get free out of that place and you never come to where it's not fulfilling, then do you know your purpose? Are you living your purpose? There's some type of pain, there's something that you need healing from. If your life continues to go around in a circle over and over and over again, that's one strong confirmation. So be encouraged. Y'all be blessed. Have a great night and a great day on purpose.